But Russia's not alone in demanding answers after a number of online activists who'd cast doubt over the West narrative are being called Kremlin-controlled. Now, two people in particular have been singled out in claims that they're not even real people, but rather automated accounts run by the Russian government, something that's become known as a Russian bot. Now, according to the UK government's analysis, their accounts grew in popularity after sceptical posts on the Salisbury poison attack and for their views on the chemical attack in Syria being falsified. Now, one man accused of being a bot spoke out on UK TV.
They are singling out for attack anyone who calls out the UK government lies on what has been happening recently.
All right, that's Ian, a political activist who often posts up anti-Western views on Twitter. He says accusations that he's a Russian bot are total fabrication. Here's the other count that's caught the eye of the British authorities. It belongs to an Australian blogger of Syrian descent. Now, when the UK government accused her of being a Russian bot over her posts on the Skripal case, her response was that she is indeed human. Maram Susli joins us live now. Maram, good to see you. Well, you look real to me. You're sure you're not a Russian bot?
Last time I checked, I'm a real human being. The British government, if they can't even confirm that I'm not an automaton, how can we believe anything they have to say about the evidence they have for Skripal and Syria's chemical attacks?
The UK government argues that one reason to doubt you as being a real activist is that the number of posts that you wrote or reposted, more than 2,000 tweets in just 12 days, and that's around 200 posts a day. Where did you find the time to do all that? How can you explain that large number?
Well, I can explain it because the number is in fact false. I checked my analytics and I've only posted 900 tweets in 30 days. That number comes from the Atlantic Council's DFR lab, in particular a man called Ben Nemo. I mean, he's obviously been fudging these numbers because that's not what my analytics show. And perhaps he's fudged them in order to insinuate that I'm automated. And this Atlantic Council, it's not a neutral organization. It's actually funded by the Syria campaign, which is an organization which is behind the White Helmets group. And of course, this organization has a vested interest in making sure that anyone who exposes the fact that the White Helmets are connected to Al-Qaeda are attacked. And of course, their attack dogs have been the Atlantic Council and the DFR lab and this guy, Nemo. So another interesting thing about this DFR lab is it's one of the other members of it, which has only 10 members, and one of the other members is Elliot Higgins. And Elliot Higgins in the past, he has a reason to have a vendetta against me because I exposed the fact that his chemistry knowledge wasn't so great in his analysis in the chemical attack in 2013. I happen to be a chemist by training, and as a result of me exposing this, he had one of his associates, Dan Kazetta, write an email to my university accusing me of experimenting with sarin. I mean, this is the DFR lab we're dealing with. They're fudging numbers, they have personal vendettas, they have no credibility, and these are the people that Theresa May is using as evidence to suggest that I'm automated.
If there are certain things that you're tweeting that are raising a flag for people who are then sort of accusing you of being a Russian bot, do you expect more activists to be treated that way for expressing views that if someone comes out with something pro-Russian, that therefore you've been bought and you're now an algorithm rather than a human?
Well, actually, as a matter of fact, it wasn't just me and it wasn't just Ian who you just had recorded from Sky News. It was actually a coordinated attack against a bunch of academics, activists, including Vanessa Beeley. Tim is as a professor as well. Anyone who is basically coming up against the mainstream media lies and the UK government lies, the lies that they are using to start wars overseas and to basically intimidate Russia at the United Nations, particularly the war in Syria and the chemical attack, bogus claims that the UK government are making, the same as the dodgy dossier they used in the Iraq war. And, the interesting thing is that these attacks all happened within the frame of 2 days. You had the BBC coming out against Vanessa Beeley, the Sunday Times coming out against these academics. So it's clearly a smear campaign to try to intimidate people into silence and to try to smear anti-war activists as somewhat of a biased voice. related to Russia somehow.
Yeah, and as well as, apart from this, have you felt any other pressure from any government agencies over what you're posting online?
Not yet. I have had the media attack me multiple times in the past, but I haven't had any direct government intervention into what I'm doing yet. But I think that, unfortunately, these are dangerous times. These are times of war. We're heading closer to perhaps worse than what the Cold War was. So I expect things to get worse. And I've seen the censorship. I mean, I have been shut down. My Facebook account has been shut down. They've tried to shut down my YouTube account. So I'm not sure how long I'm going to be staying online, but I'm going to continue as long as I can.
Yeah, I know blogging's your business. We can confirm you are human. You're not CGI. You're definitely not a Russian boss. OK, Maram Susli, thanks for staying up. I know it's late where you are in Australia, but I really appreciate you talking to us on RT.
Thanks for having me.